in the morning.
Welcome back to our channel, fellow Genoa City gossips. Today is a beautiful day to dive deep into the latest drama, and we have so much to unpack. Grab your favorite snack, get comfortable, and let's get right into the madness. I cannot believe they are dragging this out. I mean, seriously, are we really doing this again? I'm sitting here staring at my screen late at night, typing furiously because my blood is absolutely boiling over what they just did to Nikki Newman. And don't even get me started on Nick's sudden, terrifying descent into full-blown villain territory. I have been watching this show since 2015, and I have seen some wild, frustrating, pull-your-hair-out storylines, but this July 20th episode just took the cake. I know some people are loving this dark, gritty turn, but personally, I feel like I need to scream into a pillow. We have been waiting all week for Nikki's bandages to come off, all week. We sat through the agonizing hospital scenes, the tense waiting room drama, and the endless commercial breaks. And what do we get? A massive, agonizing cliffhanger of disappointment. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the actual scene first before I completely lose my mind and throw my remote at the wall. So, Nikki is sitting there in the doctor's office, and the tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. You can practically smell the clinical antiseptic through the screen. Victor is hovering over her like a gargoyle, which, let's be honest, is peak Victor Newman. I mean, I love the mustache, but his controlling energy is off the charts right now. The doctor starts slowly, meticulously unwrapping the bandages from Nikki's eyes, and my heart was literally pounding in my chest. I was holding my breath, hoping and praying that our beloved Nikki would blink, look around, and see Victor's smug face clearly. But no. The bandages come off, she blinks against the harsh fluorescent lights, and nothing, or at least, nothing immediate. The doctors drop the absolute bomb that her vision might not return right away, and there is no specific timeline for when or if she will see perfectly again. Are you kidding me? We have to suffer through more weeks of Nikki stumbling around in the dark, relying on the man who just betrayed her in the worst way possible. Because here is the thing about Nikki and Victor, their dynamic is legendary, but it is also exhausting. Remember when they tried this medical crisis angle with her MS flare-ups years ago? Yeah, it didn't work to keep them perfectly united then either, because Victor always uses her vulnerability to assert absolute dominance. He is standing by her side right now, playing the devoted, loving husband, but let's not forget he is the exact same man who brought Patty Williams back to town to terrorize Jack Abbott. I mean, Victor's hands are so dirty they are basically stained black. He funded Patty, bought her a yacht, and orchestrated a horrific plot against Jack, which Nikki found out about. She demanded a separation, and now, because she is physically vulnerable, Victor swoops in to play savior. I just can't shake the feeling that he is going to use her temporary blindness to keep her trapped at the ranch and completely dependent on him. Am I the only one who sees this coming from a mile away? It is classic Victor manipulation wrapped in a bow of fox concern. Wait, let me catch my breath. Okay, back to the point. Nikki is a fighter. She survived a cult. She survived severe alcoholism. She survived Diane Jenkins framing her for murder back in 2011. So, I know deep down she will survive this optic nerve tumor aftermath, but it is just so incredibly cruel to watch. I want to see Nikki fierce, throwing back a mocktail, and putting Phyllis in her place. Instead, we are getting this helpless victim narrative, and it is driving me insane. I just want her to open her eyes and tell Victor to back off and leave her alone. And honestly, the doctors giving no specific timeline is just a classic soap opera stall tactic. They are going to drag this out until November sweeps. Mark my words. I am dreading it. But I am also completely glued to the screen, so I guess the writers win this round. They always know how to keep us hooked, even when we are furious. But you know what really has me throwing things at my television? Nick Newman. What on earth has happened to Nick? I can't believe he actually said that out loud to Sharon. He looked her dead in the eye and told her he is sick of Matt Clark's games and wants to eliminate him for good. Eliminate him. Like, permanently. Since when does Nick casually plot a premeditated murder like he's ordering a vanilla latte at Crimson Lights? I mean, I get it. Matt is a monster. Matt has done unforgivable, horrific things to Sharon, to Nick, to their whole family. But Nick is supposed to be the moral compass of the Newman family, or at least the closest thing they have to one. And now, he is talking like Victor on his worst day, or Adam during his spider phase. It is so jarring and deeply disturbing. And let's talk about the massive, glaring hypocrisy here. Matt Clark literally just saved Nick's life. Nick was passed out on the floor, overdosing on fentanyl, which is a whole other tragic mess we need to discuss. And who found him? Matt. Who called for help and did what needed to be done to keep Nick breathing? Matt Clark. I am sorry, but you don't just plot to assassinate the guy who pulled you back from the brink of death a few days ago. I know Matt is playing mind games, and his amnesia is highly suspect, but Nick's reaction is just so incredibly dark. It is like the fentanyl completely rewired Nick's brain and stripped away his empathy. He is acting erratic, dangerous, and completely out of character, or maybe it is in character now. I don't even know anymore. I am contradicting myself because I am just so emotional about seeing Nick fall apart and lose his soul like this. So, let's rewind to what triggered this dark idea of Nick's, the whole mess at the replica shadow room on Friday. Noah Newman, bless his protective heart, is trying to defend his family, but he is acting like a total hothead. Noah sees Matt talking to Sienna Bacall at the bar, and he just loses it. He launches a full-blown physical attack on Matt. Noah is punching him, yelling at him, and Matt is just taking it, looking like a lost, confused puppy. And that is what makes this storyline so infuriatingly brilliant. Is Matt faking the amnesia? Is he really a changed man? The show is playing with us, and it is working. Matt looks genuinely devastated when he realizes that absolutely no one in Genoa City will ever forgive him or trust him. The pain in his eyes looked real, but with a sociopath like Matt, you can never be sure. When Matt declared he was leaving town for good because of the hatred, a part of me actually felt bad for him. Ugh, I hate myself for even typing that. I mean, this is the guy who terrorized Sharon and caused so much pain, but Roger Howarth is acting his heart out right now. He makes you believe that Matt is truly a blank slate, horrified by the sins of his past that he can't even remember committing. But then I remember how manipulative Matt can be, how he calculates every single move, and I snap back to reality. Of course, Nick doesn't buy the amnesia act for a single second. Nick thinks Matt is just playing the long game, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, but plotting to kill him, that is crossing a line that Nick can never uncross. If Nick goes through with this assassination plot, he is no better than the villains he despises. And poor Sharon, she is standing there, listening to Nick talk about eliminating Matt, and you can see the sheer panic in her eyes. Sharon has been through enough trauma to last 10 lifetimes. She doesn't need her ex-husband turning into a cold-blooded hitman. Sharon is trying to be the voice of reason, pleading with him to step back from the ledge, but Nick is so fueled by anger and probably the lingering toxic effects of his drug use that he is not listening to anyone. I know some fans are cheering for Dark Nick, saying it is about time he grew a backbone and stopped being the nice guy, but personally, I am terrified for his soul. If he kills Matt, the guilt will destroy him from the inside out. Remember when Nick thought he killed JT, he was a wreck. This would be a million times worse because it is entirely premeditated. Okay, let's take a deep breath and pivot to the other storyline that is giving me major anxiety, Diane Jenkins Abbott. I can't believe they are still dragging out this terrifying Dr. Lawrence Markham nightmare. Diane is back at the Abbott mansion, but she is a nervous wreck. And honestly, who can blame her? She was held hostage in an isolated, creepy location by a completely unhinged fake psychiatrist. But the twist that Markham is actually Martin Lawrence in disguise, mind blown. I mean, Tracy Abbott exposing him was one of the absolute best scenes of the year. Tracy looked that psychopath dead in the eye, laid out the evidence of the Gemini zodiac sign and Alan Lawrence books, and watched his mask slip. Tracy is the MVP of 2026, hands down. She showed more bravery in 5 minutes than the entire Genoa City Police Department has in a decade. But now, Diane is living in a state of constant, paralyzing fear because the police haven't caught Martin Markham yet. He is out there, lurking in the shadows, and Diane is jumping at every creak in the floorboards of the Abbott mansion. And let's be real, Abbott security is an absolute joke. It is practically non-existent. People wander in and out of that giant house like it is a public library. Diane has every right to be paranoid. She knows Martin is obsessed, highly dangerous, and completely unpredictable. The fact that she had to hide and witness him drop his clinical disguise and reveal his true, twisted, psychopathic self to Tracy has left her deeply traumatized. I actually feel profound sympathy for Diane, which is saying a lot considering her extremely messy history on this show. So what does Diane do in her state of terror? She comes up with a desperate, reckless plan. She is considering reaching out to Dr. Alan Laurent Martin's twin brother. Because Markham had all of Alan's books at the house, Diane thinks maybe Alan knows something, or maybe she can use the connection to lure Martin out of hiding. But this is so incredibly dangerous. Has Diane learned nothing from her ordeal? You don't play cat and mouse with a seasoned psychopath who has already kidnapped you once. I am literally screaming at my screen, Diane, stop, let the police handle it. Lock the doors. But of course, this is Genoa City, where everyone thinks they are a master detective. Diane is going to go rogue, and it is going to blow up in her face spectacularly. I mean, think about Diane's past. This is the woman who faked her own death in 2011 and let everyone, including her own young son, think she was brutally murdered. She is a master manipulator in her own right, but Martin Laurent is on a whole different level of crazy. If Diane tries to outsmart him, she is going to end up locked in a soundproof basement again, or worse. And where is Jack in all this? He is recovering in a hospital bed from being stabbed by Patty Williams. The Abbotts are literally under siege from all sides. Victor is pulling strings from his wrench, Patty is on the loose in Kyle's dangerous orbit, and Martin is stalking Diane. It is pure, unadulterated chaos, and I am here for it, but my nerves are completely shot. And speaking of Kyle, if he finds out Diane is trying to contact anyone related to Martin, he is going to lose his mind. Kyle is already going down a very dark, treacherous path by making secret deals with Patty Williams in her jail cell behind Jack's back. The entire Abbott family is making terrible, reckless decisions right now. It is like they have all collectively lost their minds due to the trauma. If Diane reaches out to Alan, she might accidentally contact Martin pretending to be Ellen. We have seen that evil twin swap trick before with these two, and it always ends in absolute disaster for the women involved. I am dreading it, but I know it is going to make for some incredibly juicy, edge-of-your-seat television. So, what are we looking at for the rest of the week? Nikki is going to be battling her terrifying fears in the dark. Victor is going to be suffocating her with his overbearing protection. Nick is plotting a literal murder against the man who saved his life, and Diane is about to poke a sleeping, psychopathic bear named Martin Laurent. I am exhausted just thinking about it. I know some of you in the forums are saying this is the best, most suspenseful writing Y&R has had in years, and maybe you are right. The stakes are incredibly high for everyone, but my heart can't take much more of this stress. I need Nick to snap out of his drug-induced villain era. I need Nikki to get her sight back and slap Victor across the face. And I need Diane to lock her doors and hide under the bed until the police do their jobs. Is that too much to ask? Probably. But that is exactly why we watch, right? We love the pain and the drama. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, because I need to know I am not the only one losing sleep over this crazy show. Seriously, the fallout from all of this is going to be astronomical. If Nick actually goes through with his dark idea to eliminate Matt, the Newman family will be dealing with the legal and moral repercussions for years. Victor might try to cover it up, but the guilt would eat Nick alive. And if Diane's plan to contact Alan backfires and brings Martin right to her doorstep, Jack might not be able to save her this time, especially since he's still healing from Patty's knife wound. The writers have woven this massive, intricate web of danger and betrayal, and every single character is trapped in it. I'll be tuning in tomorrow, clutching my pearls and probably yelling at the screen again, but until then, I just needed to get all these thoughts out of my system. Keep the theories coming, everyone, because I read every single one of them.